Hey, welcome to the fourth lesson of the course. Now we have the typography on 3D, which is looking really nice. And we have our studio, which is just a simple box. Remember that if we hit preview render, we have the front wall, but right now it's deactivated here on the editor so that we can work better now. So now it's time to create the most important or one of the most important things here on Cinema 4D or and on any 3D software, which is the lights, because if we don't add any lights here, we won't be looking at any good effect, because you can see that if we hit the render preview, you can see how it looks. It's really plain and really simple. So when we add some lights, it will change a lot. Of course, we also need to add the materials so that it ends up looking really cool. But the lights are really important on any 3D software. So creating these lights is really simple. You can see that we have here the lights. We can go to create, go to light, and we have different options for lights. You can create a light here, and if we hit render preview, let's take a look. Let's go inside of the box. You can see that it's looking different now. It has some light here, but this time we won't be creating a light itself. We are going to make some objects and make it turn them into some sort of softbox or some sort of lamps. So I'm going to delete this light, and here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to create a sphere. Go to create object, create a sphere, and now this can look a little bit weird, but it will work, I promise. Now bring this sphere to the top. Maybe we can drag it a little bit here. Let's remove our ceiling too, because it's getting a little annoying. This is the ceiling. I forgot to rename this. Now on ceiling, basic and visible on editor will be off. Okay, so now it won't bother us anymore. Now let's go back to the sphere. Okay, place this sphere here on the top of the text, and maybe a little bit to the bottom like this. We can fix this later in any case. And now this sphere, we're going to the coordinates, and we're going to increase the size on the z-axis so we can make it sort of like a blimp. It will look like this. It looks like kind of a bullet. And we're going to decrease the size of the x-axis so it will be like a really flat sphere. It will look like this. You can see the shape. Take a look at the shape. And now I'm going to take the rotation tool with R on the keyboard, and I'm going to rotate it just a little bit so that the flat part is pointing to the text like this. You can see that the flat part is pointing right to the text. Okay, so that's one of them. Now let's create another sphere, and we're going to place it a little bit by one side of this text. You can see that it's lower than this one, and we can make it a little to the right, and this one will be distorted too. Just go to coordinates, and we're going to increase the z-axis so that it's sort of like a blimp, and decrease the x-axis just a little bit. In fact, the z-axis will be bigger now, so it's really stretched out like that, and make this a little flatter. And now let's rotate this so that the flat part is pointing to our text like this. So you may think, what is this? Is he going crazy or something? But this will actually be our lights. So how do we turn this into a softbox? How do we turn this into some sort of lamps? This is done by creating a material. We're going to create a material here. You can see that the material panel right here. You can double click on it and create a new material. And now this material, we're going to place them onto each one of these objects. We can call this light 1 and light 2. And let's open the material, double click on this material, and you will find this material editor menu. You can uncheck the reflectance and you can uncheck the color. We're just going to use the luminance. And the luminance, you can see that now the object is completely white because it's acting like a light here. Okay, so on luminance, let's make this color a little blue, but just a little bit bluer, like this, a really pale blue. Click OK, and now let's increase this brightness to maybe 250, so it's really bright. And now let's take a look at how this looks. You can see any big difference because of course we need the materials and we need other stuff first, but that's basically the settings of the lights. You can see how they look, and the idea here is to use objects instead of lights because this way this will be smoother. The fact that this light will apply into the text will be much smoother. But now on the next lesson we're going to create the materials for the rest of the objects, the walls and the typography, and we're going to fix what needs to be fixed with the light. So let's go to the next one.